The life of Solomon. Once upon a time, in ancient Israel, a young prince named Solomon was born to King David and Bathsheba. David, his father, had been a warrior king who united the tribes of Israel. But as he grew older, the questions of who would inherit the throne became more pressing. Solomon, the son of Bathsheba, was not the eldest, but his destiny was marked by divine favor. When David was near death, he appointed Solomon as king. This decision was controversial, especially among those who thought Solomon's older brothers had a better claim. But Solomon's path was already set, and it was not just David's decision. It was God's. As soon as Solomon became king, he faced the weight of leadership. One night, God appeared to him in a dream and offered him anything he wanted. Solomon could have asked for wealth, power, or a long life, but instead, he asked for wisdom. He wanted to govern Israel justly and wisely, knowing that such a kingdom required more than strength. It needed understanding. God, pleased by Solomon's humble request, granted him unparalleled wisdom. Because you have asked for wisdom, not for wealth or long life, God told him, I will give you wisdom beyond measure, and I will also grant you wealth and honor. Solomon's wisdom quickly became legendary. The most famous story of his judgment came early in his reign, when two women came before him, each claiming to be the mother of the same child. Solomon, demonstrating his great wisdom, proposed to divide the baby in two and give each woman half. At this, the real mother cried out, begging Solomon to give the child to the other woman, so long as the child would live. Solomon, knowing the real mother would be willing to sacrifice her claim to save the child, immediately declared her the true mother and gave her the baby. The people were astonished by Solomon's wisdom, and his reputation spread far and wide. Under Solomon's rule, Israel reached its golden age. The kingdom prospered, and Solomon used his wisdom to forge alliances, especially with neighboring kingdoms. Perhaps the most famous of these alliances was with the Queen of Sheba, who traveled from afar to test Solomon's wisdom. She asked him challenging riddles, and Solomon answered each one with ease, impressing her beyond measure. In awe of his wisdom and wealth, the Queen of Sheba praised Solomon and lavished him with gifts. Solomon also embarked on the monumental task of building a temple in Jerusalem, a permanent dwelling for the Ark of the Covenant, where the Israelites could worship God. The construction of the temple was a symbol of God's presence and Solomon's devotion. It was a project of immense scale and beauty, with gold, cedar wood, and intricate carvings adorning every corner. The Temple of Solomon became one of the wonders of the ancient world. However, as time passed, Solomon's heart began to stray. His many marriages to foreign women, meant to secure alliances, led him away from his devotion to God. His wives brought with them their own gods and idols, and Solomon, influenced by their practices, allowed worship of these gods in Israel. This disobedience angered God, who warned Solomon that the kingdom would eventually be torn apart. Solomon's later years were marked by personal and political turmoil. Despite his wisdom, he struggled with the consequences of his actions, and the kingdom he had built would soon begin to fracture after his death. His son, Rehoboam, would inherit the throne, but his inability to follow Solomon's wisdom would lead to the division of Israel into two kingdoms. In the end, Solomon's reign was a mixture of brilliance and failure. His wisdom brought Israel to its peak, but his disobedience to God led to its downfall. His story serves as a reminder of the importance of remaining humble, faithful, and wise, not just in prosperity, but also in adversity. Though Solomon's kingdom was divided after his death, his legacy lives on through the books of Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Songs, which reflect his deep wisdom and understanding of the human condition. Solomon's life teaches us that wisdom, while powerful, must be kept in service to a higher purpose, for the pursuit of knowledge must be rooted in faithfulness and integrity. And so, the story of Solomon, the wisest king who ever lived, remains a timeless tale of greatness, folly, and the search for true wisdom.